Good evening guys, welcome to the video. My name is Samal Shah. In this video, I'll be teaching you how to use Swagger UI with Flask RESTful and Docker container and Docker Compose. So essentially this video will learn how to create a simple API REST template so you can use this boilerplate code to create your API endpoints. So in this video, essentially, I'll show you how to properly organize your API routes in folders and packages. And then we'll Dockerize everything and we'll run the app using gUnicorn. And of course, this would have a beautiful Swagger REST API. So I'm really excited to teach you about this. So let's get started with this video. So hope you guys can see my screen, and give me one sec while I just fix my webcam. Appears to be frozen for some reason, but it should be fine now. All right, couple of more seconds. Meanwhile, my webcam connects. All right, so hopefully we are live. All right, guys, so let's get started, okay? So I'm gonna go as slow as possible and try to teach you every single thing here, okay? So the first thing that you want to do is your API, create a folder here, and please, this is important, try to follow a folder structure. So let's create a directory and call this as, so I have a directory called my REST API, okay? So now essentially, I'm just making sure that we are recording. So now in this directory, we need to start building our project, okay? So the first folder that we need to have here is app.py. So let's create new directory, app. Now, essentially the way we built this project is in this, we need to create one more directory called API inside the app, okay? You would have an api.py, and let me try my best to, show you here. And here now, again, we need to create app.py. See the directory, how I'm trying to follow. Inside app, we have an API, and in the outer directory, we have app.py, okay? So hopefully so far so good. And now this is essentially, I follow this code template in my company as well. You should have a dev.env, any environment variable should be here. Then we should have a file called requirements.txt in the outer directory. So file requirements.txt. So our scaffold looks great. Now we need to create some things inside API. So the first thing that we need to create, any Python API would have underscore in it. So this would be inside the API file. And now here you would start creating modules and packages. So the first API endpoint I would like to create would be a health API. Inside this, we will create a folder called views.py. Remember, any route you want to add should follow a new folder, and inside that there should be a views.py. This is essentially what we want to follow. Now for the requirements.txt, and remember, we still haven't done the Docker yet, so we are essentially just creating the structure at this point. Okay. Now once that is done, now we need to start building a couple of more things. So first of all, we need a Docker file, a Docker Compose file. So in the project directory over here in the where it says app.py, in that essentially you want to create. I just want to show you where exactly it is. So this should be inside your my REST API file, docker compose.yaml. See how the structure is following. You have your base package, my REST API. You have an app folder. You have inside that an API, app, dev, requirements. This has in it, and then every endpoint, every API always should have a cluster and health endpoint. We'll be using we'll do some Swagger UI and some nice things here. Okay, so we have the Docker Compose file here. Then essentially we need to have one more Docker file, and we would name this as release.docker file. Essentially your ops would be building CI/CD pipeline on this. So that's it. Now we need to write some code, right? So let's start writing some basic code. So first thing that I would like to fill is essentially the requirements.txt file. So all the dependencies that we would be using would be in this requirements.txt. So essentially, first requirement that I can think of would be following. So the first thing we need is Flask RESTful. This is extremely important. Then we need the Flask API version. This we will be using gUnicorn to run our app. Then we will be using Python.env and Flask API specs. This would create a nice Swagger UI. All right, this should be done. Click on save and close the file. Over here where it says I think I need to rename this file. Instead of dev.env, I said dev.env.py. So I'm gonna click on show in folder, and essentially I would try to rename this really quickly. Shouldn't be taking that long. Give me a couple of minutes. Right. All right. So I just changed the name of the file to dev.env. Over here, let's add a variable called role is equal to dev. Essentially, this is an environment variable called role, and we are assigning a value called dev into that. So let's put that. Okay, so this is our variable here. So we have done that, right? Now we need to go to app.py and start writing some code. So the first API endpoint I would like to write is the health endpoint. Health endpoint essentially would tell you whether the APIs are working or not, essentially a health monitoring endpoint. So let's build this one. So the first thing we need to do is a couple of imports. So I would say from Flask import Flask, from Flask RESTful import resource API, from API specs import API specs, schema, fields, couple of imports that I'm doing here. Please bear with me for a while I explain you all of these things. So over here we need to say if everything was correctly imported. Let's say all right, great. So if something went wrong, you definitely wanna say error, the word error, then you wanna essentially print the error message. That's done, man. Now essentially what we need to do is we're gonna make our first endpoint. We'll be calling a health endpoint. So let's call class, and remember we follow a name. So whatever the function is, in this case it's an health endpoint, right? So we'll say health, and then we write the word controller. This would inherit from resource. Okay, so now that's done, right? Now also what we need to do is we need to inherit, in order to have this nice Swagger UI, we need to inherit this from method resource as well. I'll explain you in a bit, please don't worry about that. Now let's define our very first endpoint, a get endpoint. This endpoint essentially returns a message and say, okay, and let's return a status score of 200. So essentially this is a health endpoint, right? Now what we need to do is we need to add some Swagger documentation to it. Well, with this Flask API spec, you can easily do that by a decorator, and let's essentially call this as health endpoint. This is a tag that I'm providing, and you will see when we run the app, you will see how things appears on that. So okay, perfect. All right, so that's good. Looks good. We have a simple endpoint. Okay, now what we need to do essentially, if this API takes any parameter, in this case it does not, but if it takes any parameter, we can define that as well. I'll show you in one of the endpoints pretty soon. So for now, let's build the health endpoint. Okay, now we need to come to init file, right? We need to start writing some pseudocode here. Give me a couple of seconds. So now please allow me to explain you for a while what I'm trying to do here. After defining all the imports, we say from API, that is this base folder, right? From API, then we say the folder name. In this case, it's cluster health.views. Remember views. I think I have a typo, but views. Oops. Import, and then you want to name import the controller name. Well, I'm trying to import this controller, health controller. Okay. So once that is done, now we need to create the app instance and all the settings. So this code right here would take care. We're creating an app called Flask. We're passing the app to the API route, and we are saying some configuration. This is essentially for your Swagger UI. So when you go to Swagger/UI, you will see a beautiful UI automatically being updated for you. A lot of people, the problem is also not everyone knows how to structure the code properly. That's the reason I'm trying to show you. Now in the app.py, you want to import that from here. So essentially your code should look something like this. So over here, remember in the init file, we imported health controller. So in the app, you want to import health controller. Okay, that's pretty much it. Now, once the app, very simple app is complete, what you want to do is we want to start carving out essentially the Docker and the Docker Compose file. So going to the release.docker file. Now let's try to add some code here. Give me a couple of minutes. So I'll be using a Python 3.7, Python 3.9 Buster image. This is what I've been using in my company. It's a standard one, right? Then I would set some environment variable over here. Once all this is done, essentially we'll install a Python version. We'll just say, make sure that Python is installed. We'll say the pip version is installed. We would like to install OpenSSL in case you want to do something with the SSL. After that, what you want to do is essentially we want to copy everything. We want to copy everything in the app folder. And as I said, everything in the app folder, all the code into a folder called app. We are creating a work directory. I think this should be up. Okay, so this should be that. And once that is done, we need to install all the dependencies, right? So we'll say, hey, pip install no cache directory requirements.txt, apt-get install OpenSSL. I think that's twice as well. This should be taken care. Okay, once that is done, now we simply need to start the gunicorn worker and we're good to go. So now we do that in the Docker file by specifying the following line of code. gunicorn bind 000:80, timeout is equal to 90, app is equal to app. This should start up your Flask app by a gunicorn worker. That's done. Let's move to the Docker compose file and start writing the compose file now. The first thing that we need to do in the Docker compose is we need to define the version. We'll say the version is 3.7. We'll define a service. Essentially, this is my service. I would like to name it as my API template. Let's call it. Okay. And then essentially we'll assign the build command to this one. So I think this should be indented inside. We are saying that, hey, build everything in the current working directory. You should find a file called release.docker file. Now we'll have to give it a container name, right? So essentially we'll provide some nice, beautiful container name. So container name essentially can be : and let's call this my API template code. So essentially this is a boilerplate code, right? Essentially. So that's that. I think I think it's just messing up the indentation and want to make sure that looks good. I mean, but this should be appearing in an orange color, and seems like my IntelliJ is complaining and trying to tell me that, hey, maybe make sure that you're in. I think so, it's fine, but I think so they are in the same hierarchy. Essentially they should be fine. So we have a build, we have a container image, then we want to say restart always. If something goes wrong, we want to restart it, right? So we'll use the word restart, and then I think I have to give it a space here. That's the reason he was complaining, but that's fine. So we say restart always. If something goes wrong, restart. We want to also load the environment variable. Remember, as a good practice, we are saying that inside app dev.env, load that file inside that. We also want to mount a volume, and the reason for mounting volume is because whenever you do Docker compose up, you don't have to do a build always, and build usually takes the most amount of time. At the end, we just need to expose port 8080 because we are running the gunicorn on port 80. My Docker compose file is ready, and I'm ready to test this out. So clear the screen. Hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, so let's do dir cd. Let's head over to my project directory. So as you can see, I have the file here. So docker compose up tac build, and then you have to provide the name of the container or the image. In this case, it's my API template. Docker compose tac build my API template. This might take a couple of minutes, so you might have to be patient. Okay, please be patient with this. This might take a couple of minutes usually. So let's be patient and let's let Docker build the image for us. Remember, this is essentially a boilerplate code, right? So you want to follow this. Try to follow this. Uh, uh, as I said, I've been using this template in my company and this project structure and directory structure. So I thought, a lot of people don't know it, right? So might as well just make a video and share everything. Code is would be also be there on the description. So don't worry about the code. Please focus on learning. Now I need to switch my screen. So kindly be patient while I switch my screen. So I think I need to turn this off when I turn my display capture on. So hopefully you guys should be seeing my, I should stop this and now it should be visible. So now I need to go to the Chrome. Okay. Please be patient as I said. And let me expand the screen. I need to go to the local host. Remember 80, right? And then you'll say what's the Swagger? Okay, as soon as you go to this link, check this out, guys. Beautiful. You automatically have a Swagger UI. You can say try it out, execute, and essentially you have a response. Great, right? All of this is done by default, right? So if you're building Flask RESTful, Swagger API is one of the best thing you could do. Well, that's great. Now let's create and learn how to add endpoints and stuff like that to this. So we are almost done, but need to do a couple of more things. Let me adjust my screen. Now I'm switching my screen essentially. So please be patient. Let me make sure it's visible. Okay, it is visible. Now what we need to do is I need to go to my project structure and then essentially need to show you how we can add some data or query parameters. So, okay, so now this is your API, right? Now let's say we need to make an API that essentially, let's say some operations, right? So in this case, this API would take a name and it would say hello, the name, okay? So let's make a directory and say name. I like to follow a structure, as I said, right? So whatever you're building, I am building regarding names. I say name. And inside that, I would create a folder called views.py. Remember, we follow the same structure, views.py. Now inside that, what we need to do, essentially, we'll do the same thing what we did in the health check API. So we'll go to health check API, views, I'll copy all the code, dump it here. Now instead of health controller, I would essentially remove the health and make it name. So that's it, man. Now this API would take a JSON body, and I want to show you how you could try this out. So essentially, I have some template boilerplate code. So let me just first write some documentation. This API takes name and will greet you. Okay. Tags we'll just provide a name controller. So we'll say name. This is pretty good. I really loved it, man. The Swagger UI thing, outstanding. Once that's done, now this API would take so in order to provide any, you cannot use the default parser here, you'll have errors. So as I said, please follow what I'm trying to do. So now what we need to do is essentially we need to define a request schema, and I'll show you how to do that. So over here, instead of this is what I follow. I usually use the controller name and add the word schema at the end. That's the naming convention I also follow in my company. Now, if you want to add a body parameter, so let's say name. This is a string, right? Is it required? Yes, it's required. And we'll say API type. We don't need that. I took it from a template name. Okay, so we did that. And now how do you access this here, right? Let me show you, man. Give me a couple of seconds. So in order to access this, you will be accessing it via Quark. So let's make this to post request and let's pass **kworks. Now, well, how do you use it? Well, I'll teach you, don't worry. So in order to use this, you have to specify the word use quarks on the decorator. I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. Okay, you say, and then essentially you provide the schema. In this case, it's name controller schema, location as JSON, right? So now you want to access the name, right? So you'll say you want to, so let's remove this. So let's call. So remember, you have things in the Quark. So quarks.get, it's a Quark is usually a dictionary, so you can use use the word get and get the items out of it. If nothing comes up, use the word default in that. I'm showing you how things work, right? So, well, this is how you do it, right? I think it's my IntelliSense is complaining, and let's see why. The error should go away, hopefully. Not sure why it's still. Let's hover our mouse over this and see why is it complaining. Squarks. Okay, let's try to do this. Seems like my IntelliSense is still complaining. It shouldn't take that long. I mean, ideally, that should get resolved. We don't need to import Quarks. That's not a package. So hopefully, yeah, that should be fine. I think it just takes time to, understand things a bit. It's a little slow, but whatever. With that being said, it seems like we have problem with the indentation as well. We'll correct that. Okay, so we have a message, essentially a name, and now what you want to do, the response object, what we want to send is, we'll say message, and we use underscore message, and then we just say return response. And now I'll show you how this thing appears on a Swagger UI. We are not done yet. Remember, we need to import that in the init file and the outer package. So follow this structure. It would really ease up your workflow, man. You don't have to do anything else. Simply copy this health controller, change the folder name to name, and then of course use the controller. That's pretty much it, man. And in the app.py, we need to import this over here. Simply copy paste name controller. Let's call greet person. That's it. Now, one important thing I would like to show you. Since we did a mount, you don't have to do Docker Compose build because it takes time. I can simply say Docker Compose up. This should take care. Let me go to my OBS and make sure we are recording, because sometimes, I don't want it to stop. So hopefully this should be taken care. And now if we go to our Swagger UI, I'm simply going to hit on the refresh button and beautiful health endpoint and the name. Let's try this endpoint. Execute. And there you go, Saumil Shah. Lovely, right? So one last thing, the boilerplate code is missing is essentially some testing framework or some unit test for the code. So now, well, how do I do that? I have a template for that as well. So please allow me a couple of more minutes to talk. And so this is where your unit test file will be. So copy. So do you see this folder called app where all these files are? This is where you need to create a new Python file and name it test.unittest.api.py. Now, once that's done, guys, should be pretty easy, man. By the way, we use a default module called unit test. It should take care. And then we say from API import app. So now we have the app object. We don't need the env. We don't need sub processes. OS import app. This should be fine. And remember, it's in a try-cat, so that way it won't break. Now, what I'm gonna do essentially is setup class. I actually have things for my company, so I'm just essentially copy pasting the code. That way I don't have to do anything else. So setup class, teardown class, setup class. This should take care. This should take care. And now, in order to write API, as easy as this, man. I haven't seen anything easier. That's the reason I love Python. Things becomes much more easier. I can rapidly develop system, and that way I don't have to wait for any other things. So over here, we say we use the word test, and we want to check the health endpoint. So let's remove this one. So now you have a unit test code in your code as well. You essentially took care of every single thing that the company asked, right? So let me give me one more second, guys. It's just trying to. I'm just trying to get these snippets quickly. Okay, so essentially now here you will paste your endpoints. So the first endpoint that I want to have a unit test is health endpoint. So I will simply say /health endpoint it's not going to take any data right now, so that's fine. So response dot, is it a post parameter or a get? Let me make sure. And as far as I know, it's a get parameter. So let's come here and change this to get. So this would be a get endpoint, and then what we want to do is you want to match the status code. Check the status code from the response. And we essentially do an assert statement and say, hey, it is equal to 200, then your unit test code pass. Now you can add as many API routes on the unit testing, and it should be good to go. So that's done. That's done. Your app is ready. At this point, this is a full-fledged production-ready app. And the reason I say that is, let me switch to my webcam. The reason I say this is a full-fledged production-ready app because you have Docker Compose, JUnit, you're using Flask, Swagger API. I mean, sorry, if you're you have a Swagger UI, which usually all the company needs that. You have a unit test code, and the only thing that's missing would be code coverage. And essentially, what we could do, let me see if I can find the snippets here. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm pretty sure I had this somewhere. So in Python, essentially, there's a library, and I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but this should take care of, I just need to find the right code snippets from my company code that I wrote. Give me one sec. I think it's in the requirements, and there's a module called coverage. There you go. So all we need to do is essentially we need to add this code coverage module called coverage. This essentially takes care of the code coverage. So in the Docker file now, if you want to do that, if you want to see how much is your code coverage, well, you could take care in that Docker file essentially. I think that's all we need for a proper production ready app. So well, you have JUnit, health endpoint, Swagger, unit testing code, env variable, Docker Compose, and that's pretty much it. I hope you really have enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy this video, let me know in the comment section below, and I can make more and more tutorials like this. I really enjoy my time after work sometimes to teach people and share my knowledge on whatever things I know. It's really fun. As I said, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. The entire code template and the boilerplate is on the GitHub section. You can simply download with the Git clone. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section. And if the code is not working, please do not comment, rather create issues on GitHub. That way we could resolve it more professionally. With that being said, keep smiling, keep programming, and I would see you guys in the upcoming next video. Thank you so much.